And it happened. It finally happened. After years of speculation, Senate Democrats finally decided to pull the trigger on filibuster reform. However, it's very interesting to look back to the time when the Republicans were in power and Democrats were calling out the dangers of filibuster reform. Check out what MSNBC's Morning Joe put together today.
What they don't expect is for one party, be it Republican or Democrat, to change the rules in the middle of the game so that they can make all the decisions while the other party is told to sit down and keep quiet. If the right of free and open debate is taken away from the minority party and the millions of Americans who ask us to be their voice, I fear that the already partisan atmosphere in Washington will be poisoned to the point where no one will be able to agree on anything.
And we should make no mistake, this nuclear option is ultimately an example of the arrogance of power. It is a fundamental power grab by the majority party, propelled by its extreme right and designed to change the reading of the Constitution.
The fact is, to move forward as contemplated by the majority is moving toward breaking the rules, to change the rules. That's improper. It will change the Senate forever. That's not good. That this is a slippery slope. Once you have a rule changed illegally, then you can do it again.
So what's the real nuclear fallout? Is it what the Democrats said years ago or what they advocated for yesterday? Well, luckily, senior political economy reporter for the Huffington Post, Zach Carter, might have some answers. Good morning, Zach.
How are you, Alona? Good to see you.
I'm good. Great to see you. What's going on here? Has democracy really taken a bad hit, as Republicans seem to be saying? Is the outrage warranted? Democrats were just saying this stuff a couple years ago.
I think just the opposite. I think basically everything the Democrats were saying, in 2005, is basically true. The difference is that at this point in time, I think the bipartisan protection of the minority has really been corrupted by the actual behavior of Republicans in Congress over the last 5 years. Mitch McConnell, during his tenure as Senate Minority Leader, has launched more than twice as many filibusters as the next highest watermark, which, by the way, was Harry Reid at the time. So, when Republicans were threatening the nuclear option in 2005, 2006, they were doing so over behavior from the Democratic Party that was basically statistically half as bad as what the Republicans have done in the years since. So I think at a certain point you have to say, well, look, if we want to live in a democracy where things happen based on majority rule, things like this filibuster really do have to go out the window, because the way the minority parties are behaving is just ridiculous and getting in the way of actually getting things done. I think Democrats would have been really unhappy to see a lot of things go through that didn't go through during the Bush years. But unfortunately, during the Bush years, Republicans won a lot of elections. And that's sort of the basic bedrock principle of a democratic society, is that people who win elections get to make the rules. So I don't think any of this stuff is illegal or terrible, but I do think you will see at least some more nominations going through that you wouldn't have otherwise seen.
Yeah, good point. Well, I think that it's totally fair, though, of course, to highlight the hypocrisy, right? Because everyone might support or oppose a certain kind of rule change if it's in their interest or
oh yeah,
when it's working in their interest. But I'm with you. I think that going nuclear is really not that big of a deal. Why is a majority rule such a horrible thing in a democracy?
Yeah, and for the administration, it puts them in. It's going to force them to put their money where their mouth is on a lot of issues. They've been complaining about Ed DeMarco, who's currently the head of the regulator for Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, saying he's not doing enough to help homeowners. Well, now they're going to be able to get their guy Mel Watt through, and then we're going to see if Mel Watt really wants to help homeowners or not. And the administration for many years has basically not really been interested in doing this, and a lot of people think they've been using DeMarco as a scapegoat. So there are a lot of different areas like that where the administration's been telling progressives, well, we just can't really do stuff because it's too hard and we're being obstructed. Now they have to kind of shape up and get to work.